Charles Barkley goes off on Richard Jefferson live, calling him a straight-up clown. You won't believe the chaos that follows.
Who's afraid to call out LeBron. LeBron's a great player and a great guy. But this notion that he's got to have all the best players on his team. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He want everybody. He don't want to compete. He want to be the favorite all the time.
You know what's crazy? The entire NBA had to change its rules because of one player, LeBron James. When he started building super teams, the league didn't just adjust, it started to worry. Even Commissioner Adam Silver ended up changing parts of the rulebook. That second apron rule exists because of situations like this. It came from the idea that one player wanted more control over where he played and who was on his team. Instead of just competing, it became about creating the best possible roster to win championships, and somehow the whole basketball world acted like it was normal. But a lot of people felt the same thing deep down. This wasn't just the game evolving. It was one superstar shaping the system to his advantage.
Adam Silver had to put the second apron in because LeBron got all his guys together. KD wanted to go play with the Warriors. What? Wait, y'all don't want to win the championship and just compete?
When people compare that to Charles Barkley teaming up with an older Hakeem Olajuwon, it's almost funny. Barkley wasn't creating some super team in their prime. He was just trying to get one last shot at a championship near the end of his career. But when LeBron James joined two elite stars in their prime with the Miami Heat, that was a completely different situation. It felt like a calculated move, a big chess play to control the path to a title. And when Barkley, who has never been afraid to speak his mind, made a small comment about that era, the reaction was huge. LeBron supporters immediately pushed back hard, as if he had said something completely unacceptable about a basketball icon.
We can give you no sympathy when you are LeBron James, the best player in the world, with all of those tools, top-heavy tools. We cannot any sympathy. That's my. That's
the thing. Charles Barkley didn't even go crazy with his comments. He simply said what he believed. He pointed out that LeBron James often got everything he wanted. Huge payrolls, roster moves were never needed, and teammates brought in to help him win. Then Barkley asked one simple question that got everyone talking. If you're the best player in the world, why do you always need the best players around you? Shouldn't the best players want to beat other stars, not just stack the odds in their favor? That's all he said. But suddenly Richard Jefferson jumped in to defend LeBron. And that's what made it strange. Jefferson is a smart guy, so when someone smart twists the facts, it doesn't look like confusion. It looks like manipulation. Being drafted by a team isn't the same as building your own super team. When Barkley entered the league in 1984, he was a rookie. He didn't choose the Philadelphia 76ers. They drafted him. Meanwhile, LeBron famously announced his move from the Cleveland Cavaliers to the Miami Heat during the TV special called The Decision, where he joined two top stars in their prime, and the situations around Barkley's teams were very different. Julius Erving, Dr. J, was already 35 in 1985, far from his prime years. Moses Malone was 30 and passed his MVP peak from 1983 to now compare that with Dwayne Wade, who was only 28 and coming off an MVP-level season when LeBron joined Miami. Those situations aren't even close. Jefferson also brought up the Houston Rockets from the late 90s like they were some unstoppable super team. But the reality was different. By the time Scottie Pippen joined in 1999, Hakeem Olajuwon was 36, Barkley was 35, and Pippen was 33 and dealing with a bad back. So calling that a super team doesn't really match the reality.
I just won the championship. He got a young Kyrie Irving and a terrific Kevin Love. And now,
but it takes more than that to win the championship.
They just won the championship. What do you mean it takes more?
Scottie Pippen had just gone through surgery and even missed half the season. That so-called super team was very old. The average age was around 35. Now compare that with LeBron James and the Miami Heat Big Three. Their average age was about 26. That's not veteran experience. That's players right in their prime. Then Richard Jefferson made another claim. He said Scottie Pippen was in year 11 of his career and still in his prime. But that's not really accurate. By 1999, Pippen was actually in year 12. He was averaging only about 14.5 points per game, his lowest scoring since 1989, and he was dealing with injuries most of the season. At that point, it wasn't a player in his prime. It was a veteran trying to keep going through injuries. So the real question people keep asking is simple. Why is it so hard to just talk honestly about the advantages LeBron James had during that era?
Giving him everything he wanted. They had the highest payroll in NBA history. He wanted J.R. Smith last summer. They paid him. He wanted Shumpert last summer. They bought in Kyle Korver. He's the best player in the world. Does he want all the good players? He don't want to compete?
Every time someone questions the legacy of LeBron James, it feels like a defense team immediately jumps in to protect it. And just when it seemed like the argument couldn't get any further, Richard Jefferson brought up the Los Angeles Lakers team from 2004. But that comparison doesn't really hold up. Karl Malone was already 40 years old at that point, after 19 seasons in the NBA. It was also the first time since 1988 that he didn't make the All-Star team, and he was averaging only about 13 points per game. Still, Jefferson tried to present that as elite support. But the reality is simple. Malone may be one of the greatest scorers ever, but by that stage of his career, time had clearly caught up with him. Even legends can't escape that.
I remember Charles Barkley got drafted to a team with Moses Malone, maybe Dr. J, and
then there's Gary Payton. He was already 35 years old and had been traded mid-season by the Seattle Supersonics, who believed he was near the end of his career. When he joined the Los Angeles Lakers, he averaged about 14 points per game, his lowest since his second NBA season. That's not a superstar team-up. That's a veteran trying to finish his career. But somehow people try to compare that situation to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh joining forces with the Miami Heat, all of them under 30 and in their prime. Those situations aren't even close. It's more like comparing a legend's final chapter to a group of stars coming together at the peak of their power.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Why?
Like I said before, I feel like it's going to give me the best opportunity to win and to win for multiple years. And not only just to win in the regular season or just to win 5 games in a row or 3 games in a row. I want to be able to win championships, and I feel like
Perkins. And then there's Kendrick Perkins. He was there. So how can he forget what really happened? Kevin Garnett wasn't secretly planning a super team. He was traded to the Boston Celtics on July 31st, 2007, in a huge deal that involved 7 players. Before that, Ray Allen was also traded to Boston in another big deal that included multiple players and draft picks. These weren't secret meetings between players trying to team up. They were big moves made by the team's front offices.
remember Charles Barkley going to Houston. And then he teamed up with Akeem Olajuwon. And then Scottie Pippen was also there. So it wasn't older. Olajuwon and Charles Barkley were
That was Danny Ainge doing his job as a general manager. He made calls, worked the phones, and pulled off trades. Exactly what GMs are supposed to do. There's a big difference between a front office building a contender and players secretly planning to join together in the offseason. One is part of normal competition. The other is about controlling the outcome. The Boston Celtics were built through trades and front office decisions. The Miami Heat with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh came together because the players chose to join forces. And that difference is why people still debate those two situations today.
Had similar situations, and we've all had thoughts about, either management or whatever, and we've always put forth the team and the respect that we have for each other to go out there and still do our job.
While it's his problem, can you help but take it personally with the commitment you made to come back?
No, I'm disappointed. I don't take it personally because I understand he's been put in a tough and difficult position. I think the disappointment comes that, if that was the case, it could have...
If that's the case, then that moment shows exactly what LeBron James changed forever. The 2010 Miami Heat Big Three was the turning point. LeBron was 25, Dwayne Wade 28, and Chris Bosh 26, all in their prime, all coming off All-Star seasons. LeBron had just one MVP, Wade was top 5 in MVP voting, and Bosh was averaging 24 points and 11 rebounds. Their combined age was 79, and their confidence was off the charts that IT wasn't just a team, it was a takeover. That's when the NBA stopped being just a league and started feeling like LeBron's chessboard. The big question, did the game evolve, or did it simply give in?
Celtics?
Before Braun made his move, KG, Paul, and Ray joined.
Now compare that to the 1999 Houston Rockets. Hakeem Olajuwon was 36, averaging 18.9 points, his lowest in 10 years. Charles Barkley was 35, down to 16.1 points. Scottie Pippen was 33, barely putting up 14.5. Their combined age? 104. Combined All-Star appearances that season? 0. That wasn't a super team. That was a farewell tour. So what are we really talking about? Are we analyzing basketball or writing fan fiction? Because some of the stories spun by LeBron James's defenders belong in a bookstore, not on ESPN panels. Here's what drives fans insane. Every show, podcast, YouTube panel, there's always that one guy treating LeBron defense like a full-time job. Doesn't matter the topic, trade deadline, LeBron needs more help. Draft night, LeBron again. Random Tuesday in February, LeBron would never. It's like half the sports media thinks he has dirt on them. Honestly, maybe he does, because how else do you explain grown men twisting themselves into not defending the indefensible? You can't even say LeBron is one of the greatest anymore. No, you have to say he's the greatest, or you're automatically a hater. There's no middle ground. It's a cult now. When did basketball debates turn into loyalty pledges? Here's the irony. When Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors in 2016, who screamed the loudest? LeBron's camp. It's not competitive, it's ruining basketball. The same man who invented the modern super team suddenly had a problem when someone followed his blueprint. That's like the guy who created the atomic bomb getting mad someone else built one too. Look at the Warriors. They drafted Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, built that core, and then added Durant. Miami, that was Hollywood. Secret meetings, synchronized free agency moves, primetime TV announcements. Yet somehow, Durant became the villain and LeBron the hero. Make that make sense. No1 is saying LeBron James isn't great. He's a basketball genius, maybe top 5 all-time, maybe top 3. What drives fans crazy isn't his talent. It's the revisionist history. The twisting of facts just to protect his legacy. Let's be real. LeBron started the player empowerment era.